Studios. Produced by Christian Johnston with Ty Richardson. This is The Morning Rush.
You know, you put together a Darren McFadden montage this morning, and I haven't seen the clips, hadn't seen what you cut, but I can name 4 of 5 of those games. LSU 2007, LSU 2006, Georgia 2005, and then South Carolina 2007 to top it off. There was one, the stiff arm one didn't. Maybe it was Tennessee.
That was LSU.
Was it another LSU game? But it's funny. So Darren spoke with the team this weekend. And you think about the guys that were born in 2005, 20 or 21 years old, 2006, 20 or 19, 2007, when in his final season, or 19 and 18. A lot of, like I say, all this team didn't watch him live. Like, you and I easily can tell you our favorite Darren McFadden moments over the years. I know Son Smith was asked about Darren. He's wearing number 5 this season, just the impact. And it's cool to see Darren back on campus. Great guy, loves Arkansas. I've had a chance to talk with him in person. We've had him on air. That's not fake. That is real. The guy loves Arkansas. But it's just funny, like, a lot of these guys are probably like, man, I got to go watch this guy play because they didn't get a chance. Like, I can't imagine being an Arkansas fan or player and not watching this guy live, but that's your whole team,
well,
see?
This team needs, if they haven't seen Darren McFadden play, they need to go back and watch some highlights. The fire he played with, of course, he was extremely talented, but even if you're not obviously as talented as DMAC, you can play with that same fire and intensity. And, you know, I like the way he said, you know, take it personal, basically. If somebody slaps you, then you're going to slap them back, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, that's kind of the mentality that this Arkansas team has to play with.
You can say what you want about Houston Nutt. I've got a lot more positive than negative memories of the former Arkansas head coach. Even in losses, those teams would hit you. I remember Mark Richt talking about it years ago, and they beat Arkansas, I think, by 3 touchdowns one game, and they said the next week they just weren't the same. Arkansas, despite not winning certain games, still played with the mentality and a physicality that you loved watching. There were issues. I'm not going to sit here and tell you there wasn't, but definitely something that was fun to watch over the years with Coach Nutt in Arkansas football. We'll play off this Darren McFadden stuff. We got plenty to get into this morning. It's Big C and me. Tommy's going to be back tomorrow, so 2 hours here in the Morning Rush, and he will be back tomorrow. If you want to call or text us, you can do so on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Jackson Fuller, Southwest Times record, USA Today, is going to be along with us at 10 a.m. He was the first guy I saw at fall camp this past week, and we'll get some thoughts and updates on from him going on. You know, one of the unique things about Darren back in the day, and this has kind of gone by the wayside, this is not necessarily used all the time, but just the utilization of him. Now, he didn't return punts, but he did kickoffs alongside Felix Jones. And often Darren was the lead blocker in those breakaway explosion plays that Felix would take one to the house or whatever. You wonder, like, I know it's kind of gone under the radar a little bit. The quarterback conversation has dominated fall camp. There are questions about defense based on last year and everything else. But you're just like, all right, so what does the special teams look like? You got the Max Gilbert kid transferring in from Tennessee, Gavin Rush at punter, some other guys that will be featured in the mix. But I referenced Son Smith earlier. Well, apparently he's going to factor into not just the running back room with Braylon Russell, looks like a two-headed backfield there, but also when it comes to special teams.
He definitely could be our starting kickoff returner, but we may be smart about that. You know, it might be one of those, hey, we want to get him more touches on offense, get him touches as the punt returner, and then go maybe a different direction on kickoff return. But because he is electric and he is a playmaker, we got to find ways to get the ball in his hands. And I think special teams will be really dictated off of how much he's touching it on offense.
And you're balancing. You don't want to leave a guy out there and an injury happen or something like that. But Arkansas has lacked that dominant special teams player in quite some time. You saw a thing or two from Isaiah Satania. I'm forgetting the kid that returned a punt against Missouri State a couple years back. Bryce Stevens, that's the kid's name. But you think back to like Dennis Johnson and Felix Jones. Now, I realize the rules have changed. That was Chad Lunsford, by the way, the new special teams coordinator here at Arkansas. And so kickoff returns are not as typical, going back to the house just because of how much safer they've made that specific play. But you would love if Sutton Smith is the guy that can give you even an extra 10 or 15 yards on certain plays. And I know they got to be smart about it, being that you get the ball at the 25 if you take a knee in the end zone or you let it go through the back. But hopefully he's a guy that not only can impact your running game, Christian, but also it sounds like on the punt return and the kickoff return side of things.
Yeah, he's an electric player. He's twitchy, and he's kind of stocky, and he's got kind of like all the attributes you want out of a running back. Very fast, very quick feet. I think he took one. Did he take one to the house against Arkansas last year?
I thought it was a wheel route that he caught, but I'd have to go back and watch that Memphis tape.
I just remember watching that and being like, man, this guy's got breakaway type speed, and that's the type of guy you want as a punt returner, obviously. So you don't want to get him hurt doing that, but at the same time,
it's a balance. It really is. And that was the thing I always wondered about having Darren McFadden and Felix Jones back there in 2006 and 2007. Would that be an issue? And I have to go back. I don't remember it really being that. I know Darren played through some injuries. I think Felix did as well, but I don't ever remember that being a real hindrance on the football team and overall. Even Saquon Barkley. I remember Saquon Barkley taking back one against Ohio State. Like you said, there's never, when you have a game-changing player in that type of speed, like think of a Percy Harvin who carved us up back in the day, like getting him the ball out of the backfield, out wide, in kickoff and punt returns, just a dynamic player. Hopefully, Sutton Smith is that for Arkansas this fall. All right, we got plenty to get to this morning. I mentioned Jackson Fuller coming on. We kind of have an idea what things are shaking out in the depth chart. There's this new website called Too Deep. Have you looked on that yet? I got a printed version out. It's kind of like Our Lads. If you really want, I don't know how many of you guys are rigorously studying the depth chart for Arkansas football or anywhere else, but it's kind of giving you a sense of what that looks like. So we'll touch on that a little bit. Hall of Fame stuff, 2026, 5 guys inducted. Adam Vinatieri might have been the funniest of any of those, so we'll play some clips from that coming up. Rhett Lashley had some things to say about Arkansas's football schedule that I want to touch on. It's National S'mores Day. We'll get into the best part of the s'more. And then the college football, the conversation, the college football playoff, I should say, the conversation seemingly has been about a 16 or 24 team expansion. But apparently a 20-team expansion, according to Josh Pate, is being looked at. So we'll touch on that as we continue to progress throughout the morning. Hey, WT Equipment, I know that mowing season has not slowed down. I know we're getting near the end of the summer, but if maybe your mower's on its last life or maybe you just need a new one, check out the Hustler zero-turn mowers at WT Equipment. They're built for speed, comfort, and an incredible cut. And right now, you qualifying models come with 0% financing for up to 48 months. It's a great time to upgrade. Go to WT Equipment in Springdale, Rogers, Berryville, or Searcy, or you can visit WTEquip.com to find the Hustler mower that's right for you. That's WTEquip.com. All right, a couple of these texts are coming in talking about the Darren McFadden, Felix Jones, and Sutton Smith conversation. Chris pointed out the blocking. That was a thing of not only Houston Nutt's group, but also the wide receivers for Petrino. How many times did they have long touchdowns thanks to some blocking downfield?
Yes.
Jarius Wright, Joe Adams, Greg Childs going out of their way, Kobe Hamilton, to make sure the other guy scored. That was such a big pattern of Bobby Petrino's teams 15-plus years ago.
Exactly right. And, it helps having guys like Joe Adams that can make guys miss as well. But, yes, just the commitment to blocking. I know DJ Williams was a good blocker. I mean, it was a good combination with that talent and then the guys that were willing to block. And then you mentioned the Houston Nutt days. Casey Dick threw a block in one of the
LSU 2007 on the road.
So it was just a team mentality. They all knew what they had to do.
Arkansas had a good rushing attack last year, second in the conference. Your passing attack was nowhere near that mark. For this season, when you think about the combination backfield of Braylon Russell and Sutton Smith, who are going to garner most of the attention, I think my question is, with the assumption of KJ Jackson as your starting quarterback here in a few weeks, how much do you utilize him? How much does he run? Is he as athletic and as quick as Taylor Green? Absolutely not. but he's not slow. Like, how much does he use? Now, he's looking more to throw than he is run, which I think is good at times, and other times we'll see how it plays out, and we're also going to find out how good Arkansas's pass blocking is going to be this upcoming season. But I think that's a question I have, amongst other things, as you get ready for September the 5th against North Alabama here in Fayetteville in a few weeks, which is wild that we're under a month already. How much they utilize him in the running game this upcoming season. All right, we mentioned Adam Vinatieri's Hall of Fame speech, and he took shots. He made jokes. He was funny. Did you listen to him, Drew Brees, Sean Payton, or not Sean Payton, excuse me. You had some good ones, and Luke Kuechly and Roger Craig, but it was just he stole the show, let's say, when it came to this weekend.
Peyton, thank you for generously donating your forehead for today's teleprompter. Unfortunately, Bill couldn't make it here today. There's a lot going on at UNC right now. He may be on a recruiting trip right now looking for the next Lawrence Taylor. I thought it was because training camp had already started. But in truth, it's because he's judging his girlfriend's cheerleading competition. Pat McAfee's here in the crowd today. Great to see you, brother. The only person who enjoyed holding my balls more than my wife. She held for me in the off season when everyone else was gone. Get that right.
This is the opening drive.
The wife laughed at that. I was kind of curious, when you make a joke like that, how does the significant other respond? Well, she took it in stride. Didn't necessarily see that coming. I found Pat McAfee entertaining since his playing days, and apparently his special teams teammate had some fun. He never came across to me as a really funny guy, but evidently he can.
Is that all Pat McAfee did in the NFL was hold?
Well, he was a punter too.
Yeah,
he did. He did a variety of things. Holding that. There's actually a funny story. He apparently lied. I don't know if it's to Jim Irsay or if it was Bill Polian. Might have been the GM of the Colts back then. I can't remember. But apparently, he lied about being able to hold out of college, and that's something he never did. And
how hard can it be, right?
Vinatieri sent him to some holding camp or something, so he ended up going through it. But that was quite entertaining to hear some of the shots taken and the jokes made from his Hall of Fame speech this weekend. Which, by the way, when you're going with Larry Fitzgerald, who's second all time in catches and yards, Drew Brees second all time in passing yards and touchdowns, Luke Kuechly, who had a shortened career but a really good one, and then also Roger Craig, who was part of some great San Francisco 49ers teams. You're kind of the last one that people think about, but he kind of stole the show when it comes to the Hall of Fame speeches.
Well, one of the greatest kickers of all time, probably?
Yep, one of the clutches, too. You think about some of the history of the kicks he made during Super Bowls, 4-time Super Bowl champion. That's someone, if you're an NFL kicker or a college kicker, high school kicker, you would want to you would look at and call someone that you would love to amount to that success. So yeah, one of the clutchest kickers in NFL history.
I think about Sebastian Janikowski, those type of, but for some reason, Vinatieri comes top of mind when I think of one of the best kickers.
Well, when you play for quarterbacks like Peyton Manning and quarterbacks like Peyton Manning and Tom Brady, it helps that you're in those type of situations a lot of times. And it's not easy. He was a part of some incredible teams. And you think about Arkansas special team miscues over the years. You miss Cam Little at times. You've had some blunders at not just the kicker position, but others. It's not talked about enough, but when you have a guy that you feel like is going to be nails at the end of the game, it is it lifts such a weight off a head coach's shoulders when you have a guy that doesn't fear the pressure in those type of situations.
I'm drawing a blank on who is that New England kicker that was really good throughout the Brady.
Well, Vinatieri was there too. He was at both with the Colts, and that you're probably thinking of Sebastian Gostkowski. Gostkowski is who you're probably thinking of. Yeah, because there was you've got multiple timelines to the first Brady Super Bowls, then the second stint of the Brady Super Bowls, and you got players that played on one stint, the others played on the other. So yeah, Gostkowski is probably the guy you're thinking of.
Yeah, I think so.
Heck of a kicker as well. All right, that is your opening drive this morning. It's brought to you by the Fence Man. You can give Sean and Brandon and their team a call. Make sure you tell Brandon you heard it on ESPN Radio for a discount. We'll do our Fence Man Friday picks this upcoming Friday, 479 782-3936. This could be something commercial related. This could be something residential related. Maybe you need automatic gates. Maybe you want to update your security. You can do that with the Fence Man. They've also got 18th-month financing available. You can check them out online and get a free quote at thefencemanAR.com or give them a call, 479-782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. Travis in Springdale, he says, Vanderjack, is that the guy you were thinking of?
No.
That was another one.
But I do remember.
There's been
he was
several.
good too.
Again, you think about Bill Belichick and Nick Saban. Now, Nick Saban had some terrible kickers at Alabama. Towards the end of their tenure, he got like Will Reichard and some other guys that are really good. I think Reichard was one of the all-time SEC leaders in points. Like, he was unbelievable. But a lot of times, special teams miscues, especially kicking, plagued the Alabama Crimson Tide. But Belichick, some of their special teams guys over the years, I mean, he would have guys that he would solely sign for special teams, were unbelievable and changed them in either an AFC championship games or Super Bowls. And unfortunately, that hasn't necessarily always been a strength of Arkansas lately. You've had some years where, again, Cam Little, you had a combination of Cam Little and Jake Bates, who are two NFL kickers now. Now, Jake just did the kickoffs, and Cam was the place kicker, of course, but that's been a strength. Like this year, Gilbert, who's the transfer from Tennessee, is going to be your place kicker, and then probably that Braden McAllister kid who comes over from Georgia State is going to be on kickoffs. They've done stuff like that before where the kicker is not the guy that's doing the kickoffs and whatnot, but you got to gain every advantage you can. Like we talked about Arkansas, the same phrase that Ryan Silverfield continues to utter is the controllables. Big C, they've got to be really solid in the special teams department as well. Not just the penalties, not just the turnovers, but if you can add just a competent special teams, because it plagued them the last few years.
It's a lot easier to – I'm not saying losing is ever good, but it's a lot easier to swallow a loss when you know that you didn't shoot yourself in the foot. You know, you didn't fumble the ball, you didn't miss a bunch of kicks, you didn't throw a bunch of picks. Seems like last year, like that was the reason that we lost every single game that we lost.
Mm-hmm.
So this year, obviously, if you can clean that up, you'd like to think the talent is up to par enough to where, you know, you can win some of those games because other teams are going to make mistakes. You can't be the team making all of them every game.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just, that can't happen.
It's been a struggle for the Razorbacks, and hopefully it's not one this upcoming season. Again, you point to certain things when you look at this football team. You want to be positive about areas that they haven't been strong in years past. And I know Ryan Silverfield keeps playing out the idea and thought that last year has nothing to do with this year. And this is not a shot at him. This is just evidence against Arkansas these last few years when you have one SEC above 500 season since 2012, which took place in 2015. It's not just last year that people remember. It's the countless other years. It's the fear of, hey, can I finally buy into this team? Can I believe in this team? Can this team get over the hump when it comes to certain elements that they have struggled in, year out in the past? Austin points out here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, eliminating self-inflicted wounds would have given us four more wins last year. You think about those 0-5 one-score games that the Razorbacks suffered, the turnovers against Tennessee, the two crucial ones at the end of the game against both Ole Miss and against Memphis. You had a punt block and return for touchdown against Auburn, and you still lost that game.
Sure there were some.
LSU, I mean, there's been numerous examples that you can point to where they just had it, and then they let it go.
That LSU game made me sick. There was LSU was trying to give Arkansas the game in that one, and we just wouldn't take it.
Yep, that has happened, unfortunately, over the years. But we'll get into some more of this coming up. Against Hot Take Monday, if you've got a thought, I know Brendan in Fort Smith's holding. We'll get to him coming up at 877-377-6963. That's 877-377-6963 for the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Big C, we have a good weekend. Tommy's been in Chicago. Did you do anything fun and entertaining this weekend?
Nothing comes to mind. So I think I was pretty chill this weekend.
Pretty chill this weekend.
This is the heat, man. I'm telling you.
It's hot. Like, make sure you're. And again, this is not a PSA that you guys aren't following, but just make sure you're drinking plenty of water. It has been brutal outside lately. We need some rain desperately, and hopefully we get some here in the coming weeks. Just kind of holding on till fall. I know Arkansas is one of the most temperate places in the world, and it seems like we are really, really getting it when it comes to the temperatures right now. We got our Hog update coming up in just a bit. Going to hear more from some coaches and players. Hagen Smith's debut, where Cal's been, and more. The Morning Rush continues on after this on this Hot Take Monday.
Streaming live from
HitThatLive.com.
This is Tony Bua, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanAR.com.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge, and when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
We've got big news from Roback. This entire week, Roback is launching its brand new collegiate collection, just in time for the fall season. And if you're an Arkansas fan, you're in luck. The Arkansas collection officially dropped, and there's plenty of inventory available. So whether you're headed to the stadium, watching from home, or just looking to upgrade your game day gear, now's the time to check out Roback's new Arkansas Collegiate Collection. Use the code RUSH26 for 20% off your first order. Roback, where action meets comfort.
David Bowie got more fame with his #1 hit titled Fame. John Lennon co-wrote and sounded some of the high notes. The last line in the first verse sums it up. Fame puts you there where things are hollow. John 12:43 tells us that many people rejected Jesus because they loved the fame of people more than the praise of God. Is it any wonder you get more fame by rejecting the name of Jesus? I'm Pastor E from Woodland. Think about it.
So I had pain in my feet for a good 20 years.
It felt like I was standing on marbles.
Something wasn't working with my feet. Was diagnosed with plantar fasciitis.
If your feet aren't comfortable, the rest of the body suffers.
So I went into the Good Feet store and bam. They wanted to make sure that they gave me the right arch support.
You put in the arch supports. To me, it was almost miraculous.
It really brought me back to being able to be me.
I can run, I can walk. This is not something that you could solve online.
Reclaim the good life with a free arch support fitting at the Good Feet store. Good feet, good life.
Taco Bell's new $3 melty pepper jack steak burrito. Luxuriate in premium grilled steak and new pepper jack sauce in the melty steak burrito. All that for only $3. That kind of looks might go to your head.
Can I have a steak knife?
You may not.
Until you chew it.
The $3 melty pepper jack steak burrito. Now joining the Lutz value menu with 10 items, each just $3 or less. Only at Taco Bell.
Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
4087 or online at servicemasterpc.com. What a matchup we've got, folks. Just nonstop action. The energy is electric and the fans are all in. An intense game like this calls for a Coca-Cola. Crisp and refreshing. That's a game changer. Yeah, that taste scores every time. And just like that, they're back at it. Passionate fans and an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Now that's a winning combo. No matter the team, no matter the sport, everyone knows fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola.
Save up to $4,000 on in-stock 2026 Buick Encore GXs at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. That's $4,000 off on this top-selling midsize SUV. Or drive the brand-new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover for as low as $399 per month. These are limited-time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith or online at harryrobinson.com.
Passionate about sports? If yes, let's take that passion and put it to work growing your business. I'm Rita Newton with ESPN Arkansas, and I help people like you that own businesses connect them with our avid and loyal sports listeners through the power of radio with sharing your words, plus offering digital solutions. Whether you need more customers or more traffic on your website, I am your girl. So email me at rita.newton@hitthatline.com or call me at 479-353-1242. One email or one call away to working on a business plan to help you grow your business.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Darren McFadden goes 73 yards. And has a wide open man. It's Childs. He's loose. He scores. Childs, please.
Uncle Tommy loves the Razorbacks.
ARKNSAS.
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush.
Excited about Jelani for sure. He has shown to have a knack at the kickoff return spot. Would love to see him more in a team situation. Let him see him catch with a little bit more traffic around him. But in individual drills, he's done a really good job with that. But he's definitely a guy that we want to try to get going and see what he can do. Because if he catches the ball really well and does a good job with decisions, he definitely can be a playmaker in that phase.
That is Chad Lunsford, special teams coordinator at Arkansas, talking about Jelani Watkins, LSU transfer, track and field guy. You need speed out there. And then again, you're wondering about what role he could potentially be on this football team for this upcoming
Lunsford
season.
sounds like Dabo Sweeney a little bit.
You think so?
He's got
Sounds
that
like,
same tone to his voice. Yeah.
So he had some positive things to say about Jelani there. All right, other news to get into. Cal was at a Yankees game with Nick Swisher and his wife Ellen. If you could go to Cal to any sporting event, where would you go to?
Go with Cal?
Yep.
It would be,
NBA Finals.
Yeah, I'd want to go to a basketball game, so hopefully he could, teach me some stuff that's going on. But yeah, an NBA Finals would be cool.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah,
be just the amount of connections that he would have at various NBA Finals spots. By the way, speaking of the basketball team, Anthony Christensen found this. Give him credit for this. Whole Hog Sports. Hogs going to be playing UCA in Bud Walton Arena on November 13th, according to UCA's website. So the Razorbacks will be playing the Sugar Bears once again in basketball. Keeping your update going, Hagen Smith debut looked pretty good.
3-2 to Quan. And the slider lands. 3 strikeouts in the first big league inning for Hagen Smith.
He had Christian Franklin get called up not too long ago. 2 scoreless for Hagen Smith. And again, I forget their broadcaster's name, but 3 strikeouts. Kind of a weird deal, Christian. 2-hour rain delay. He comes in and gives them a couple innings. And he's I believe their number 2 prospect. So I know a lot of White Sox fans excited to see the former Razorback lefty out there against the Guardians.
I don't know what more he could have done. I mean, 3 strikeouts, and that's a pretty good introduction to your major league career.
Yeah, we were joking. I forget what pitcher we were talking about getting called up, but he was going to have to face potentially the Dodgers that initial game, and it's that is not the lineup that you want to have to go up against. All right, last thing here. According to Ian Rappaport and Adam Schefter, Hunter Henry is signed a 2-year, $16 million extension worth up to 2014 and half of it is guaranteed. Looks like he's going to be with the Patriots for a couple more years. All right, that is your Hog update this morning. It is brought to you by our friends at Farm Credit of Western Arkansas. You can go to myaglender.com. They've got 25 locations across the state. Land, home, you want to own your own place. We'll talk to Farm Credit of Western Arkansas about the different financing options that they offer. Go to myaglender.com, and again, 25 locations across the state when it comes to helping you get ready for the land you want, the home you want, your own place, doesn't matter. Farm Credit of Western Arkansas, myaglender.com. That's myaglender.com. All right, we played that clip on Jelani Watkins. I know Brendan in Fort Smith via the Lewis Automotive Group hotline had some thoughts on the LSU transfer. Brendan, fire away. You're on the Morning Rush.
Hey, Ty, how you doing, buddy?
Good, man.
Hey, so I guess what I was getting at with the Jelani Watkins stuff is for the first time and maybe, I guess since I've been watching Arkansas football, and I know there's not an abundance of athletes that we have that are mainly track athletes that come over to play football, but I can't remember any of them that when they do talk about them that you're like, oh, I bet they'll contribute. And so, honestly, when I knew Jelani Watkins was coming over and he was as good as he was in the track, I just kind of, signed it off as, I'm sure he won't contribute much to the football team. But then I started watching some practice videos, and if I didn't know he was a track guy, I would say, damn, his routes look pretty good. And then you hear the way the coaches are talking about him, and they're not just talking about him, oh, yeah, he's got speed, he's a good athlete. They're talking about him like he's actually maybe going to contribute a little bit. What do you? I guess should we change our expectations on the track star?
I think that's a fair question to ask. Big C, who am I blanking on that just won all these different Olympic? Do me a favor, look that up. I don't know why I'm blanking on this kid's name that ultimately decided track was best for him. It's paid off for him. Glean Jr., the kid from Georgia, is another guy that I know people are wondering about. In order to be like a game changer in this league, I know speed is always a big deal. You got to have physicality. Some of these corners look like linebackers when you get these one-on-one matchups on the outside. I am always like, Tommy always talks about this, Brennan, like you have these fall camp or spring ball superstars where the coaches are saying so many positive things about them in the offseason, and then they either play sparingly or they don't play at all. So when it comes to, and this is not just about Jelani Watkins, but who was the player?
Colton said Jordan Anthony.
Thank you, Colton. Jordan Anthony. Couldn't remember his name. But it's not just about Jelani or Gleason or anyone else, but it's just like you wonder, like, how much are they just trying to hype this kid up? How much of this is actually going to transpire and play out this upcoming season where they play significant minutes? We'll kind of have to wait and see on that. Hey, we did our Fenceman Friday picks this last week, and one of the things that I'm really excited about is preseason football. We had the Hall of Fame game on Thursday. I know we've got some other games throughout the week, especially on Thursday as well. That's something that a lot of people look forward to. You can bet them all on the Bet Saracen app, Arkansas's only real sports betting app right here in Arkansas. You got these other ones coming in now, but Bet Saracen not only has your football, they have your basketball, they have it all. Again, check it out, betsaracen.com. That's the Bet Saracen app, Arkansas's own and favorite sports betting app. When we come back, Morning Rush Daily Question is next.
Streaming live from hitthatline.com.
The Nielsen ratings, the top 4 programs that are getting watched. Duke, Michigan State, North Carolina, and that little school in Arkansas.
You're listening to the Morning Rush. Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates?
I'm Tim Shepard. I'm running for Washington County Judge. People come to Washington County for a reason, to raise a family, build a future, and enjoy the beauty of a place we call home. No matter how long you've lived here, we all want the same things: safe communities, responsible growth, and leaders who get things done. I'm Tim Shepard, and I'll work every day to keep Washington County the best place to live, work, raise a family, and call home. I'd appreciate your vote November 3rd.
Paid for by the committee to elect Tim Shepard, Washington County Judge.
I'm Wendy Howerton.
and I'm running for circuit judge here in Washington-Madison County. I've been practicing here for 20 years, representing people just like you, and everyday matters. It's going to be justice for all. Everyone there is going to have a voice, and all those people who don't have a voice, they're going to have one in my courts. And I'm going to apply the law evenly, impartially, like it should be. I'm here to protect all your constitutional rights, because they've never been more important than they are now.
Paid for by the Howard 10 campaign.
Dad, you actually got most of that right. How'd you do that?
Well, if you're going to do the dad joke, then I need to step up my Googleator knowledge.
There's no hope for you, is there? Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go
Hogs.
The only person who enjoyed holding my balls more than my wife.
This is the Morning Rush.
Taco Bell's new $3 melty pepper jack steak burrito. Just one taste of the premium grilled steak and new pepper jack sauce, and that kind of lux might go to your head. And for just $3, how could it not? But even as you're enjoying the tender premium steak and cheesy opulence, try not to ask the waiter for a steak knife. Experience the Lutz Value Menu with 10 items, each just $3 or less. Only at Taco Bell. Limited time at participating stores while supplies last. Prices vary. Tax extra.
Employee pricing for everyone and 0% financing on all 2026 GMC Sierra 1500s at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You pay what we pay on GMC Sierra 1500s. And for well-qualified buyers, get 0% financing or save $15,000 off on the last remaining 2025 GMC Hummer. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages, or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time, every time.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Hey, it's Wes Pruitt from 4-Star Sports Media. Before they make it to the majors, they make their mark right here in Northwest Arkansas. The Naturals are about to light up the diamond in 4-Star Sports Media as you cover it on every base. From rising stars to unforgettable moments, it all starts here with 4-Star Sports Media. Podcasts, live shows, and expert takes all in one place. 4star.live on web and 4-Star Sports M on X. Your 24/7 home for sports coverage from every possible angle.
Wes, how many people can a large pizza feed?
About 4.
So I should tell Cousin Jeff 1.
Oh, wow. He's a big eater.
The biggest. He once got kicked out of an all-you-can-eat diner because they ran out of food. How many can a small pizza feed?
I'd say 2.
Our small pizza at $15 is a meal for 2? We should advertise this. That goat'll hunt.
Dog.
What you call me?
That dog will hunt.
Wes, dogs are man's best friend. Goats are the true hunters.
Goats?
Billy Goat Jr.'s Grammy was trained to chase squirrels, cats, birds, and rabbits. We could hear her for miles through the brush. And she'd circle them right to us.
You're not serious.
As serious as a meal for 2 for $15.
You're an interesting cat.
What you call me?
A meal for 2 for $15. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Is your business getting found online or getting lost in the crowd? Hi, I'm Christy Bedeau with ESPN Arkansas, and I'm here to help you get your products and services found in today's digital world. Not only offer connections to the loyal Razorback fan base, but we can help you build, maintain, and grow your online presence. From world-class websites to streaming video commercials, we create the campaign that allows you to be found online and on air. I can help you create a marketing strategy built around your goals that works. Call me, Christy Bedeau, at 208-3012 for a free needs analysis, and let's create a marketing plan that gets you.
Football and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Social Morning Rush Daily Question.
All right, you men. I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer to the best of your ability.
It's going to be a quick answer to an incredibly terrible, long question.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Check out Nate and Kristen's Place in Lowell online at carpathsocial.com.
All right, it's National Lazy Day, so if you want to mail it in today, feel free to do so. Tom is not here, so that's what we're doing around ESPN Arkansas. I was thinking about doing something with that, but something food-related. I'm hungry. It's 9:41. Nothing wrong with doing anything food-related. So our CarPass Social Morning Rush Daily Question. The Ultimate Campfire Classic, the S'mores, National S'mores Day. You got the gooey marshmallow. You got the hot milk chocolate melted, plus 2 crisp graham crackers. Put it on the fire. It's good to go. What's the best part of the s'more? 877-377-6963. Big C, start it off.
The best part of the s'more, I think it's perfect the way it is. It's got to have chocolate and marshmallow on it with the graham cracker. Now, to me, it's like how gooey do you want your s'more to be? I mean, you gotta. Or you don't want to burn it, obviously. There's just a right amount of campfire that you need to use for it. But, hot chocolate's good with it. Have you ever had hot chocolate with your s'more?
I've done that before, yes. Great. When it's cold outside, you get the hot chocolate, the hot s'more with it. Yeah, that's a great combination, no question. Mm-hmm. So what's the best part?
The best part to me is the chocolate.
The chocolate. All right, I got to go graham cracker. Here's my logic on this. Marshmallows by themselves are pretty bland. I love marshmallow wars. We used to do that back in the day. But I've never craved, man, I've got to have a marshmallow.
No.
Chocolate, while elite and awesome, doesn't matter if you get just the simple Hershey's or a particular bar. I can have that pretty much anytime I want. But the graham cracker kind of, not only is it the floor and the ceiling, the back and the front, but it's the best part. It is the best part. Scott says the best part is just eating it. But I think if you have to choose the 3 major ingredients, I'm going to go graham cracker. Robert in Barling disagrees. He says the burnt marshmallow. Now, as you said, there is a skill set of not
sweet spot, yeah.
Yeah, the sweet spot. Not getting it too burnt, not undercooking the marshmallow. It's got to be just right. But Robert thinks it's the burnt marshmallow that is the best. Ryan's listening to Rogers. He says that the chocolate is the best part. And again, I think the chocolate might taste the best, but I don't go out of my way to get graham crackers. Like I had those Teddy Grahams. You remember when we were kids, the Teddy Grahams back in the day? And other than that, I really just don't eat graham crackers. Let's see. B in Van Buren says, put a Reese's instead of a Hershey bar. I can't say, B, I've ever done that before. Might have to try it. We're a long way out from fire camping season. I mean, it's what, 90-something today probably across most of the natural state here. Long way off. I'm not a huge fan of starting a fire when it's like anywhere above like 70. Below 70, you start to get in that, it's not bad. But, man, when it gets really cold, you got a fire going. That's the best. JT in Hot Springs says the best part is watching others trying to eat the s'more without getting messy. I think it's virtually impossible to eat a s'more without getting messy. Brady says s'mores with crescent rolls are incredible. You ever done s'mores with crescent rolls, Big C?
I haven't.
Okay. Let's see. Cody in Fort Smith says kind of like my graham cracker theory, the marshmallow, because that's the only time he's actually going to eat a marshmallow. So some differing takes here. Let's hear what Matthew in Springdale has to say. He's phoned in here on our Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Matthew, what is the best part of the s'more?
I know you said the graham cracker, but I mean, I don't know, man. But like the marshmallow, that's the most important part, because if you don't get that marshmallow right, then your chocolate doesn't melt, and then that ooey gooiness with that chocolate, and then of course your graham cracker to hold it all together. I mean, that's. But like I said, the marshmallow is the most important part. I mean, if you get that thing, I mean.
It's the only part you can screw up, right?
I'm a semi-professional marshmallow. Yeah, I'm a semi-professional s'more eater.
Okay.
So, it's got to be that part. But I tell you what, if you didn't do it right, then you wouldn't look like some of my. I'll try to have to find an old picture of me after a s'more cookout.
All right. What do you think about Hog football
Anyway,
this fall,
thank you, guys.
Matthew?
Oh my gosh, I heard Bo and Chuck talking about that this morning. And oh my gosh, I know Bart. I know we should be talking about Bart, but Bart was like, whoo, he was talking about one thing they talked about was like the rivalries that now with the way that the money goes that we've lost the rivalries and stuff like that. And that's what Bart was talking about was most important to him this morning. But I think
Talking about like Texas or what?
we know. I think though I think the Razorbacks, and I hate to be whatever they do on the field is what the most important. I don't think wins or losses. I know everyone wants to win, but I think how they do on the field is going to show improvement to this year. And I think it's exciting. We got a new coach on the hill, and I mean, there's some good stuff going on, and it's just, I mean, we don't want to drink too much Kool-Aid and all that other good stuff before it starts, but it's exciting right now. There's already people talking about Hog basketball, but we want to do football first, people.
Yeah, here's what I would say, Matthew. Appreciate the call. So I think people have heard. I think they're going 4-8 this fall. I hope to be proven wrong. 5-7, 6-6. I'd be elated. And I know, considering where we are in 2026 and where we were 16 years ago, it's vastly different. I think for Ryan Silverfield, and I'm going to keep standing on top of this. You've got 4 opportunities in the first 6 weeks to get people on your side. Utah, Georgia, A&M, Tennessee. That's a brutal start. Like going on the road for an 8:15 local, 9:15 Central game against one of the better programs recently in the Big 12 is tough. It's not easy, and they were formerly the Pac-12. Then you play the best SEC team at home as of late. Oh, and then, by the way, you got to go to College Station, a place you hadn't won in years. And last 2 times you've gone there, you've gotten housed. And then you got to host Tennessee, which Tennessee's probably going to be a pretty good football team this fall. But if you somehow, some way are 3-3 by the first part of the season, that's, I think, like people are like, okay, we might have something. And by have something, I mean we might have a team that could squeak into bowl eligibility, which I know for some of you it's like still not good enough. But relative to where this team was at 2-10 last year, I know that 2-10 could have been 3-9 or could have been 4-8, could have been 5-7 depending on how things shook out. I think that's improvement, and I would be pumped for Ryan Silverfield if they did that this fall. I don't know if they're going to or not. We're talking about that's your Cart Pass Social Morning Rush daily question. Hold on to that, Big C. Number 1 place for indoor golf in all of Arkansas. You can't build a fire in there because it's 68 degrees, and I think there's building code and everything else. But if you want to bring your own s'more stuff, you can do so. Don't think they have a fireplace in there, but Christian and Nate would love to have you, whether it's corporate events. They've got their summer memberships, Unlimited Golf, still now the next 2 months. I know they've been having a lot of fun with that. Summer League has started up. It's BYOB. You can host both birthday parties there. You can do it all. CartPassSocial.com. They have a great Facebook and Instagram video stuff that they do each and every week. Again, CartPassSocial.com. It is always BYOB at Cart Pass Social, the number 1 place for indoor golf. Over 1,000 different golf courses you can play in Northwest Arkansas at 122 Grant Place in Lowell. Go ahead, Big C.
I was going to say the season isn't over if you don't start 2-0, but wouldn't you say the first 2 games are the most likely chance of going on a win streak, the first 2 games of the season?
It's just a win streak, yeah, because Tulsa's sandwiched within Georgia and Texas A&M, and that's your final non-conference game of the season. Because remember, we got 9 games this fall. But yeah, in terms of a 2-game win streak, that is probably your most likely being that where it sets up in the schedule. I think it's just asking a lot. Not to say they can't do it. I think it's just asking a lot for this team to go on the road and get it done in Salt Lake City in week number 2. HR guy's not giving this team a chance. You said this team and the new coach is already chopped. start the countdown now for basketball.
How does he know that?
I think, again, when you have it's not just last year. We talked about this earlier. It's not just last year that have caused fans to already doubt and have misgivings about the season ahead. It's the seasons before. It's like we talked, you know how like compound interest works, where it's a good thing? Well, the compound negativity is a thing in sports talk radio in Arkansas right now with this football program, because it's the negativity is not just based off 1 year. It has been compounded ever since 2012. And I know there's been various spurts. There's been various good years here and there. But the overwhelming, unfortunately, majority of that stretch has been negative. So HR guy is not alone. I do hope that there is at least giving this team a chance. And for those that are against Ryan Silverfield, which I know some of you are, I think he's got his work cut out for him. I've said it before. I don't care who's in that role. That's just the position you are for Razorback football. Like, to at least give this team a chance to not already be joking about basketball, because let's say they go to Salt Lake City and get shelled that week number 2. That's going to be the majority of calls and texts coming in here on our Lewis Automotive Group hotline with the phrase, as HR guy just said, start the countdown for basketball. Wins basketball season. Can't wait for Cal and company to suit up and play this upcoming year. And I don't know, again, if that's justifiably fair if they can't find a way to win that week 2 game in Utah.
Some have said that that's one of the toughest games of the year. I don't know if I believe that. I just think that being that early in the season, Utah catching them that early in the season should bode well for the Razorbacks, just like it might bode well for Utah catching Arkansas that early.
We'll see what ends up playing out. Again, I think it's 26 days out. Is that right, Big C? 26 days out from this upcoming season. It's getting closer and closer, which is crazy to see how fast things have gone by. All right, coming up, we're going to talk with Jackson Filler. He's been at fall camp asking questions to coaches, getting his own bird's eye view of what's been going on with not just the quarterback position, but other positions as well. We still haven't played this Rhett Lashley clip, who was on 3, talking about Arkansas's upcoming football schedule. I think it's an interesting exercise to walk through who the SMU Mustangs play this fall versus Arkansas, and what you think the Razorbacks would do with the schedule like SMU has this fall. Hour number 2, Big C and me. Tommy back tomorrow. The Morning Rush continues next.
The Saracen Casino Hotel is now open and accepting reservations. Saracen's new 14-story hotel features 318 modern guest rooms and suites, offering luxe accommodations paired with the elevated amenities and the southern hospitality customers have come to expect from Saracen Casino Resort. And while you're at it, don't skip dinner at Red Oak, recognized as Arkansas's best restaurant for 5 years running. Book your stay with Saracen by visiting SaracenResort.com or calling Saracen today.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET.
Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanar.com. Or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Elizabeth.
This is Robert.
This is Matt.
This is Raleigh, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville.
We are the only family, alumni, and locally owned Razorback store. We went to school here. We live here. We get what every Razorback logo means.
Plus, we're the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole, and almost every item that comes into our store has our stamp of approval. We want the best graphic on the best item, and that's what sets us apart.
Whether it's pennants, fan cave items, or other clothing, we take the time to get it right.
Hey, Dad, do you know what they call a pallbearer from Tulsa?
No, what?
Karaoke.
Matt, that's my job to do the dad joke.
Well, you said you were going to retire someday, so I should start practicing.
Anyway, you can stop by the Stadium Shop at 989 South Razorback Road in Fayetteville next to Baum Walker Stadium.
Or you can call us at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
Or if you can't get to Fayetteville, you can check us out on the Google later at shoponrazorback.com.
Dad, you actually got most of that right. How'd you do that?
Well, if you're going to do the dad joke, then I need to step up my Google later knowledge.
There's no hope for you, is there? Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs!
This is the Morning Rush.
Get state sales tax paid when you trade all this month at Rath Auto Resources. Just bring in your old car and make the switch to any one of our great road-ready certified pre-owned vehicles and get state sales tax paid when you trade. Our road-ready certified vehicles are inspected, reconditioned, and backed by comprehensive warranty. Combine that with our non-commissioned sales team and the nation's best lenders on standby, and you've got an award-winning, hassle-free way to get your next ride. Make the switch to road-ready certified and get state sales tax paid when you trade all this month at Rath Auto Resources. 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith.
Delicious, slow-roasted Cantina chicken. It's on the new Cantina chicken rolled quesadilla at Taco Bell. It's a delicious quesadilla with slow-roasted chicken, like we just mentioned. Then it's rolled up, kind of like a burrito, if you will. And let's face it, you probably will. That slow-roasted chicken we're talking about. The Cantina chicken rolled quesadilla, only at Taco Bell. At participating U.S. Taco Bell locations for a limited time and while supplies last.
What a matchup we've got, folks. Just nonstop action. The energy is electric and the fans are all in. An intense game like this calls for a Coca-Cola. Crisp and refreshing. That's a game changer. Yeah, that taste scores every time. And just like that, they're back at it. Passionate fans and an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Now that's a winning combo. No matter the team, no matter the sport, everyone knows fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Wes, how many people can a large pizza feed?
About 4.
So I should tell Cousin Jeff 1.
Oh, wow. He's a big eater.
The biggest. He once got kicked out of an all-you-can-eat diner because they ran out of food. How many can a small pizza feed?
I'd say 2.
Our small pizza at $15 is a meal for 2? We should advertise this. That goat'll hunt.
Dog.
What you call me?
That dog will hunt.
Wes, dogs are man's best friend. Goats are the true hunters.
Goats?
Billy Goat Jr.'s Grammy was trained to chase squirrels, cats, birds, and rabbits. We could hear her for miles through the brush. And she'd circle them right to us.
You're not serious.
As serious as a meal for 2 for $15.
You're an interesting cat.
What you call me?
A meal for 2 for $15. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Summer is here and adventure is calling. Visit Southern Tire Mart for a new set of Yokohama tires to get your vehicle ready for summer travels. Southern Tire Mart is your trusted partner for top quality tires, professional services, and competitive pricing. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let Southern Tire Mart ensure your vehicle is ready for the open road. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of blue sky and sunshine. A high today in the low to mid 90s, mainly clear. Mid 70s overnight. Tuesday, lots of sun, a high near 95. And then Wednesday, sunny skies. Our high on Wednesday, mid to upper 90s. Looks like Thursday we'll see partly cloudy skies near 100. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
This weather information is brought to you by The Solid Rock, your source for inspirational gifts, home decor, women's boutique items, personalized Bibles, and more.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 26 days. This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Bud Light.
Can't drink all day unless you start early.
Celebrate America's 250th anniversary with an ice-cold Bud Light.
I'm looking at it like this. If I walk into, you walking out and about, slap you, what you gonna do? All right, then, you know what I'm saying? So that's a mentality you have right there. So when I'm out there playing, that's how I look at it. I'm looking like I'm going into a street fight every play.
McFadden will get the direct snap. Fakes it, keeps it, comes left. Watch out. He's gone. I think. Gets a great block and goes 73 yards. McFadden. Say goodbye. Darren McFadden, 80 yards, touchdown.
He will get the handoff, and he has a hole, folks. Look at the young man go. He's to the 20. Nobody in the building will catch him.
Keeps it. Stiff arm. Comes another stiff arm. And a twist. Guy's pretty good, isn't he? He's wants some more. McFadden. See ya, T-Mac. Hold on, Matt Ryan. T-Mac not looking back. Touchdown. How about that Heisman, Mark Jones? How do you like it? Open again.
Live from the Bud Light Studios, produced by Christian Johnston with Ty Richardson. This is The Morning Rush.
Yeah, Tommy's been playing off this idea for the past few weeks about can Arkansas avoid a 3-game losing streak? And I think it's pretty good. Christian, you just posted something before the break. Can Arkansas get a 2-game winning streak this upcoming season? Matt in Huntsville thinks that's a good poll question. Will the Razorbacks have a 2-game winning streak this year? That Tulsa, if it wasn't sandwiched between A&M and Georgia, being that A&M's on the road, Georgia's your first SEC home game, it's really hard to see that. Maybe Utah. If you beat you're obviously going to beat North Alabama week number 1, but I think that's a fair question to ask. If you win 2 games, how close are you going to be to bowl eligibility this fall?
Yeah, I think the first 2 would be obviously the easiest, simply because you play North Alabama, one of those games. And then obviously going to Utah is not going to be easy, but is going on the road in the SEC, is that any easier than or harder than going to a place like Utah and getting a win?
Well, your road games are College Station, Austin, Texas. You're going to take on the Auburn Tigers on the road, and who's your 4th one? Vanderbilt in Nashville. I would say that you're going to face more difficult terrain, not only with the elevation, but also the hostile road crowd in Utah than Vanderbilt. The other 3, though, I would probably give the edge to the SEC teams. You know, Seth points this out. We played the clip of Darren McFadden talking to the team. Says, makes me feel old that most of the current roster wasn't born during DMAC's time here. Isn't that crazy when you think about the guys that either weren't born or were like 0, a couple months old, 1 year old, 2 year old when Darren was here in 2005, 2006, and 2007. Love seeing him back on campus, whether it's something Arkansas football related or if he's just hanging out. Awesome to see that. Hey, we've got our 21st annual football trip of a lifetime going on right now. We've had their most qualifiers ever thus far. We got a few more spots open. I think we're maxing out 30. We've got 26 of them. So if you want your chance, again, we've got 2 remotes this week. Your chance to qualify for the 21st annual, 2+ decades, football trip of a lifetime. Vegas, Chiefs, Raiders have a chance to see that game at Allegiant Stadium. You got to eat a Monster Burger at one of these qualifiers in 150 seconds or less. Plus, you can enjoy endless fries after 5 p.m. as well. They're going to have the wheel. They're going to have awesome food always. We know that Hardee's breakfast is always good. We're doing these remotes more at dinner time nowadays, so you can enjoy that endless fries promotion. But again, we're running out of time. The contest is coming up just here in a few weeks. Go to hitthatline.com. We've got the Hardee's tab up top. You can click on that. It'll say Monster Burger Contest, and you can click on that for the different dates and the different rules and everything else if you're interested. Again, it's the football trip of a lifetime, the 21st one. All this brought to you by Hardee's and us at ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. So we'll take the question that Christian was asking, and Matt in Huntsville thinks a good question. We'll pose it to our friend Jackson Fuller for the Times Record and USA Today. Jackson, putting you on the spot to start. Does Arkansas win 2 straight games this fall with their number 1 schedule in college football, according to ESPN's Football Power Index?
Man, I will say yes. I think they do. I think that their 2 best chances are probably the first 2 weeks of the season, and then at some point during that 3-week stretch at Vanderbilt, Missouri, at Auburn, and South Carolina. 4-week stretch. I think one of those 2 stretches provides them a 2-game win streak, and I think Arkansas fans and the program would love for it to happen that week 1 and week 2 just to get this Ryan Silverfield era kicked off in an emphatic fashion.
And Jackson, here's what I've been saying for the last couple of weeks. So the first 6 games, you got 4 big opportunities, right? That Utah game you referenced, Georgia at home, Texas A&M on the road, and then Tennessee. If you somehow, some way are 3-3 heading into the back half of your season, I think you have to be excited if you're an Arkansas fan. Like I would be thrilled if they were 3-3 looking at that stretch you just referred to, Vanderbilt, bye week, Missouri, Auburn, and South Carolina. I mean, I think that could set up really good for them for bowl eligibility potentially if they're 3-3 for the first 6 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree, Ty. I mean, because like you mentioned bowl eligibility, like the possibility. I still think if you're 3-3, like it's going to be difficult just because of how tough this schedule is, and they haven't had the greatest of history against Missouri. They got to go to Auburn and Vanderbilt, where if those games were played in Fayetteville, you might think of them as winnable. But if you're 3-3 halfway through the season and you've got those 4 winnable games on the horizon, I mean, you're certainly dreaming of it. And it gives the team and the program, the coaching staff, something to play for. Whereas if you're 2-4, it's kind of an assumption, I think, at that point, like this team probably won't get to bowl eligibility. And it would be very tough to, I mean, what's the motivation other than, hey, first year, guys may be playing for their futures, whether that's here in the program or outside the program. I know the coaching staff's going to be motivated the whole time just because they, it's like I just said, their first year here on campus and everything. But if you can get to 3-3, I think it drastically changes the outlook of the second half of the schedule.
Jackson, you mentioned the coaching staff. We had a chance to listen to Coach Hicks, Coach Wilson, also Coach Lunsford the last few days. Max Gilbert that transferred in from Tennessee. Sounds like Sutton Smith's going to be doing not just punt return, but potentially kickoff return duties as well. Then you look at the other, on the defensive side of the football, a lot of new pieces, a lot of transfer players. What maybe stood out to you listening to the special teams and secondary and quarterbacks coach the last few days?
I'll start special teams. I really appreciate a special teams coach that doesn't try and be more aggressive than he needs to be. I thought that was something that, Scout Fountain did a great job recruiting kickers, and the special teams had some moments, but I thought at times that unit just took too many gambles, whether that was returning kicks out of the end zone, going for blocked punts, doing different things on special teams. And Lunsford has completely, kind of echoed the head coach of protecting the football, securing the football, taking care of that, making sure we get possession on special teams, punt returns, kick returns, stuff like that. That's going to be the most important thing. They got to maximize their possessions, and I really appreciated that from Coach Lunsford. I'm a guy that, I mean, if I were a special teams coordinator, I wouldn't even try and block punts these days because I feel like you rough the punter more than you ever get a big return in modern college football or modern football as a whole. So I appreciated that. I mean, maybe that's a little bit of a boring take, but I think it's a smart thing for this football team where you've got to maximize the amount of times your offense touches the ball. And then as far as the secondary goes, I'm just impressed with the communication that the coaches are giving us. It seems like the players are echoing that communication. And the 3 young men we talked to, very bright, all experienced. They all have played in a college football playoff or been a part of that. There is a level of experience, at least with the starters on the secondary, that, it's a concern. Can they kind of gel and be better than what the past defense was last year? But I think the experience that they have on the back end is a great starting point.
Hey, Jackson, this is Christian. Last year the obvious issue was the turnovers. This year, is there a specific group? Is it the offense or the defense, secondary, offensive line, whatever? Is there a specific group that you think we'll see dramatic improvement from last year?
I think the linebacker crew, because I'm very, very high on Brad Shaw. I'm very high on Jaquavian Jackson, and I like what we've seen from some of the backups. Last year, I think you entered the season thinking that was going to be a huge strength of the team with Sorey, leading that group as a guy coming back, but it just never really panned out. Mm-hmm. This year, I think Bradshaw's due for the big year, and one of the backups, Jeremy Evans, I mean, he's been running with the second-team defense a lot, and obviously we don't see much 11-on-11 action, but he's always around the ball when they do some tempo drills. A guy that, isn't making tackles because they're not bringing guys to the ground just yet, but he's he's right there where he needs to be. He's slithering into the backfield and making contact with the running back behind the line. I think the linebacker group is the one that I'm looking at is going to take a leap from what we saw last year.
What about Wyatt Simmons? He's part of that group. I think he blocked a punt against Auburn last year. How's Paul's kid factoring in with that rotation?
I think Wyatt, he's working with a third-team defense right now, which I find a little surprising, but I also think maybe he's been around the program. They know what they have in him. They want to see guys like Evans and Phoenix Jackson, who are newcomers, and Phoenix missed a lot of the spring, kind of work with that group. I think that's a competition right now. Who are going to be the two top linebackers right behind Shaw and Jaquavion Smith? But Wyatt looks good. I think he's put on some good weight. I think he looks faster than what he was last year. And another guy that he just kind of finds himself around the ball. Now he is going against the third-team offense for the most part in what we're seeing. But I think there's something to be said for a guy that, didn't play much last year. And once he did get on the field, started making plays. He's kind of a gamer in that sense. And I expect him to play this year, but I do think there is a clear pecking order where he is behind those top two guys and is going to have to fight for the snaps that he does get on the field.
We're talking to Jackson Fuller, Times Record, USA Today, covering all things Razorbacks. Coach Lunsford, special teams coordinator, also talked about Tay Lockett, which I was kind of surprised to hear a potential true freshman catching punts. Like that's something. It's not something you hear every day. Whether it's catching punts, whether it's playing in the secondary. Are we going to see the transfer out of St. Bosco, Conway Wampus Cat, see the field much this season?
I think so. I mean, I just got done actually writing a story about him, waiting for my editor to get it and publish this morning. But I think he is a guy that just we've kind of seen it a little bit, and the coaches have really stressed this. His football IQ is higher than what most freshmen are. Christian Harrison talks about it as well. A guy that just knows where to be. I mean, in spring, he kind of jumped, made a leap in terms of making big plays. He made some interceptions. He, I think forced a fumble in some 11-on-11 we watched, and just always was in the right spot of where the secondary needed him to be. And then that translates over to kind of what I talked about with Lunsford's, idea and his mindset as a special teams coach. The thing he shouts out with Tay is he is a really natural catcher of the punts and good at securing that football when it's coming a million miles out of the air. They said they wanted him to work on his ball security over the summer and this fall, and he's doing that. Just a guy that you people that were Conway fans saw it. He's a playmaker when he does get the ball in his hands, and that's something that every secondary coach loves too. When you're a guy that anticipates where the football's going, you can make a play on that, and then turnovers. That's going to be a huge focal point, I think, for this year's defense. After last year the offense created too many and the defense didn't create enough.
Jackson, let me ask you about these next few weeks because we got full pads starting this week. The first game September the 5th against North Alabama. How much time left do these guys have to make headway on their competitors within that room to earn roster spots? I mean, is it 2 weeks out? Is it a week out? What's your opinion on how much time there is actual deliberation between who's going to suit up week one for the Hogs?
Well, I think it really depends by position. I do think the quarterback competition, there's a couple, 2 weeks left. Because I don't think they might not announce anything, until the week of the season, but I do think right around that time where they're going to start closing off practices to the media, they're going to want one guy to, assume most of the reps and start building chemistry, with the receivers, everybody get on the same page. This is our leader. A lot of the other position battles, who are the backups along the defensive line and linebacker, which receivers are going to, be the top three targets. I don't think there's really a timeline on those, and it's just going to extend into as long as the coaches see fit, partly because we need to see what it looks like in a game with the guys around them, especially for the wide receiver crew. I mean, we might get to North Alabama, and you think Donovan Falpel is in that second-team unit, and he shows off the greatest chemistry with KJ, and then he ascends into that first unit. I think the quarterback battle, I think they've got another 2 weeks here where they're going to really push those two and then maybe try and build some chemistry with whoever QB1 is. But the rest of them, I can see the competition lasting all the way through that North Alabama game and assessing the tape from that game. And then by the time we get to Utah, they want to know a clear pecking order at all their positions.
All right, so everyone's given their take about the quarterback battle with KJ and AJ. I want to kind of flip the script a little bit. Hank Hendricks, here's a kid that started in day one, I guess the third-team QB. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. Seems to have generated a lot of praise from those who've gotten a chance to watch him. What has been your evaluation of the kid that was supposed to be Fayetteville's starting quarterback, reclassified to be in this class for those that don't know? What have you thought of him as just a young guy in that room?
Man, I mean, he throws a really pretty ball. It's not quite as like I compare it kind of to what we first saw when Madden Yamaliava stepped on campus, where it was just like, ooh, the ball comes out of his hand a little bit differently than some of the other quarterbacks in this room, even as a newcomer.
Mm-hmm.
But he's very accurate. I think that stands out too. Sometimes AJ and KJ, both can maybe they hit the receivers, but it's just a little high, a little behind them. I think Hank is very accurate, maybe even more accurate than those two guys. However, it's the decision making isn't quite as quick as KJ, especially for Hank, and maybe even not as quick as AJ right now. And I think he's 17. It's just kind of jarring. He needs to put on weight. He needs to mature. He takes a lot of third team reps, but he doesn't take all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And part of me thinks that might be just learning the playbook. The coaching staff has praised his football IQ. I mean, he's a coach's son, so I don't think that's going to be a problem in the long run. But it's still a slow development. I mean, I think it would be an emergency situation if he sees the field this year. But I definitely do think, like, you're projecting 2-3 years down the line. This is a guy that Arkansas fans, if he's still in the program, with that transfer portal looming, with just looms for everyone. It's not just a Hendricks thing. You got to say that about almost everybody these days. If he's still here, he's a guy that can, provide a lot of optimism for the future at the position.
You briefly touched on the wide receiver group, and I think there's a lot of questions surrounding that room, being that who's going to be the alpha, who's going to be the guy that can be the key third down player. You've got a chance to watch these guys in both spring and fall. In your best estimation, Jackson, who's going to lead this crew this season?
My pick right now is Jamari Hawkins, the Memphis transfer. He's primarily working in the slot, but he can kind of drift everywhere. I think he's shown the best chemistry with KJ right now. And, I think they're still battling, but if I had to pick someone right now, I would go KJ over AJ, but, we'll see what happens in a few weeks. But that chemistry has stuck out. And he's just a guy that he's I said this word already, but slithers. He can drive through a secondary and find the right holes, sit down in coverage, make the right catches, and he's shown really secure hands. I mean, yesterday we saw far too many drops for my liking from the receivers and tight ends, but Hawkins is a guy that catches on everything thrown to him very fast. He's my pick, but honestly, I think if you're an Arkansas fan, you probably want the answer to be Chris Marshall just because of his ceiling, that size, his speed, and if he is leading the room in receiving yards, that's going to open up lanes for some of the smaller guys, the more slot-based receivers like Hawkins and Brown. But I think Hawkins too, he knows the Memphis playbook as a guy that was with Cramsey the past couple of years. I'm excited to watch him when the lights go on in the regular season.
Hey Jackson, it's Christian. I know there's still a QB battle going on right now, but I think no matter how that shakes up, you probably feel okay with whoever is named the starter. What is the biggest weakness you think will be of this team?
I guess my biggest concern right now for this team is the offensive line, and I think it's the edges. I just don't know if what we're going to see from a pass blocking standout from the tackles. They love Kavion Broussard's potential. Still a very, very young player. An absolute monster. He looks the part, and they love Bryant Williams' experience as a guy that started over down in Lafayette. But neither player has played any sort of like meaningful SEC football. Broussard played, I think, in one game last year when he was thrusted into a situation due to injury. So I'm worried a little bit about, can this team pass block on a consistent basis and give the quarterback enough time to be successful, whoever that person is. If they can, I think you have a certain playbook here where it's all about getting guys in space and getting offensive linemen out into the open field blocking for Sutton Smith, Jamari Hawkins, etc. There's potential for this offense to be pretty good, but if they can't give the quarterback enough time, that's going to really ruin a lot of what Silverfield and this group wants to do.
Before we let you go, I want to ask you one more question about Sutton Smith. Wearing number 5, he's kind of looked up some highlights, done some history on Darren McFadden, who spoke with the team this weekend. Kick returning, punt returning, a possibility for the running back. How much do we see him just this season in terms of all things on this field? I know he's going to be sharing touches with Braylon Russell out of the backfield, but could you make a case he is the most important player on this team based on the time that he's going to touch the football outside the QB?
Man, I think you definitely can make that case. And honestly, it's a question that I don't really know the answer to. I asked Coach Cramsey about it when we spoke with him, because Sutton only averaged, I think, 8 or 9 carries at Memphis last year, and he still led them in rushing. He made a lot of catches, played on special teams, but I wonder if they're trying to up that to 12 to 15. I don't think you can go much higher just because he isn't the biggest of running backs. But the way that the coaching staff is talking about him, they expect him to be the home run playmaker for this offense. And they want to find ways to get the ball in his hands in space, and I think that's why he's returning punts, because that's an easy way to do it. If the punt return team does block it up correctly, you can get a guy in space that way. I still think at the end of the day, it's going to be a 50-50 split between him and Braylon, just because of Braylon's size is something you need in the SEC to wear down an opposing defense. But if it is a 50-50 split, I assume Sutton's going to have the more yardage just because he's the more explosive player between those two. I think it would be a great thing for those guys to both be reliable, to both be, carrying 12 to 15 times a game, and then you get Sutton going in the passing game. It just feels like, he was probably the biggest target when Silverfield was coming over of a guy that he wanted to bring with him from Memphis, and they're planning to use him a lot.
Jackson Fuller, Times record, USA Today, covering all things Razorbacks, especially football this time of year. Jackson, we appreciate fall camp updates, man, and looking forward to this upcoming football season.
Thanks for having me, Ty. Talk to you guys soon. Appreciate it.
Good stuff from Jackson. All guests join us here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline at 877-377-6963. If you've got some thoughts on what Jackson had to say about the team in fall camp or this upcoming season, you can definitely get in here with us. Big C and me, Tommy, back with us tomorrow after his trip to Chicago. Hey, the Brad Hendricks Law Firm is pure Arkansas. They live here, they work here, and they know the court system here, so they can help you so much more than the out-of-state lawyers in town. When it comes to personal injury, car wrecks, big truck wrecks, they can help you with it. Bankruptcy, medical malpractice, Social Security claims. They bring tradition, reputation, and results. Give them a call at 501-910-1010. That's 501-910-1010 for the Brad Hendricks Law Firm of Arkansas. When we come back, SEC update, we'll get into some college football playoff expansion talk. We'll jump back into this quote from Rhett Lashley on Arkansas' schedule, and we'll do some other things as we continue on a Hot Take Monday after this.
It's the summer event takeover at Lewis Automotive with sizzling deals and endless adventures. Lewis Automotive, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 80 years and home of the Lewis Guarantee.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text AREA to 42424 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text AREA to 42424. That's AREA to 42424.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
But the most important game is your very next day.
This is the Morning Rush.
Delicious, slow-roasted Cantina chicken. It's on the new Cantina chicken rolled quesadilla at Taco Bell. It's a delicious quesadilla with slow-roasted chicken, like we just mentioned. Then it's rolled up, kind of like a burrito, if you will. And let's face it, you probably will. That slow-roasted chicken we're talking about. The Cantina chicken rolled quesadilla, only at Taco Bell. At participating U.S. Taco Bell locations for a limited time and while supplies last.
Budweiser, the American lager. A time-honored recipe, true to our original process, brewed using the choicest hops, rice, and best barley malt, delivering great quality beer since 1876. Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Lager Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Presented by Sharp Equipment. They are your true one-stop shop. If you need a custom fabricated hydraulic hose, a hydraulic element rebuilt or replaced, everyday job site supplies, or an expert technician dispatched directly to your site for heavy repairs, they're here for you. Need a replacement right now? Their flexible rentals even include a standard attachment at no extra cost. Plus, they provide elite sales and service for top-tier brands like Wacker Neuson, Ola, Cinnabog, FAE, and many more at Sharp Equipment in Van Buren.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages, or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time, every time.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Employee pricing for everyone and 0% financing on all 2026 GMC Sierra 1500s at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You pay what we pay on GMC Sierra 1500s. And for well-qualified buyers, get 0% financing or save $15,000 off on the last remaining 2025 GMC Hummer. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
It's sad that we live in an unsafe world, but we do. Would you be able to show the police who was at your home if something was taken? Guardtronic installs alarm systems as well as camera systems. We here at ESPN rely on our Guardtronic installed cameras to keep an eye on what's going on around our building, as many of you do. Guardtronic has been serving the River Valley for over 60 years. Call Guardtronic for a free estimate so you'll be able to show the police who the bad boys are that took your belongings. License E50.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
The SEC is the best conference in America.
The tough will survive in this game, and I feel like the SEC is the toughest.
Arkansas is the SEC champion.
You know, every game is a dogfight. We're about to be tough there is. Week in and week out, you're going to play some of the best, the biggest, the fastest.
But this afternoon is a day for the Razorbacks to celebrate. Arkansas wins the tournament.
Where opponents' dreams come to die.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
No offense to Arkansas, they can't have the hardest strength of schedule in America to start the season because no one's played a game. We don't even know who's good, so we don't know what a good and easy schedule is right now. But no one ever questions it. No one ever says, hey, why do we act like last year matters for this year? Because it doesn't. Now, if they would have come out and said, hey, we're predicting this based on last year's results, cool. But it still has nothing to do with this year.
Is that a shot at the SEC?
Yes, and whether it's Rhett Lashley, Kirk Cignetti, any other coach that's not in this league, they do that. And the Big Ten, frankly, with 3 straight national championships, has more to stand on now than they did prior to. But let's do this exercise for a sec here in our SEC update. We know Arkansas' schedule. I don't have to run back through it. But let me ask you what you think the Razorbacks would do against SMU's schedule this fall. You start out against Florida State, Doe Campbell, against the coach that's probably going to get fired. Yeah. UC Davis, at Louisville. So tough games. 2 of the first 3 games are not easy. Then you get Missouri State, who Arkansas barely beat a couple years ago, Boston College, Virginia, Cal, at Syracuse, against Virginia Tech, against Wake Forest, at Notre Dame, and then at Stanford.
Syracuse and Notre Dame may be the 2 toughest games on that schedule.
I couldn't tell you what the ACC preseason standings are going to look like, but Rhett, come on. What do you think is more difficult, the schedule you go up against this fall or the schedule that Arkansas? There's not a coach on this planet that would trade what the Razorbacks have to go through this upcoming season versus what SMU goes through this season. And
I think it's because if his team goes 12-0, obviously that's going to be one of the Well, if they go 12-0, they'll be in the playoff. But if they're like on the edge, 10-2, 9-3, then that's going to be the big thing is how tough of a schedule did SMU have. And I think he's kind of trying to counter that narrative.
Yeah, he's trying to get out in front. You're exactly right. And whether it's the Big 12, whether it's the Big 10, again, more to stand on, whether it's the ACC, and again, I say Big 12, ACC, SMU. I got it. It's so weird being where they are, but that's them. That's them. It's just odd seeing that's where they are in the conference. All right, continue on your SEC update. This is from Josh Pate. The College Football Playoff Management Committee was meeting about the potential expansion. Apparently, hearing rumblings about a 20-team college format with play-in games featuring the Power 4 conference, which would be making up the conference title revenue. A lot of the talk has been about 16 teams or 24 teams, but apparently, according to Josh, this has been taking place for a while. So, like the idea, we've talked about it. We can't necessarily see it playing out where you don't have conference championship games. You think about the tie-in with Atlanta and Mercedes-Benz and the SEC championship game, but this is at least on the table. I don't know what the other conference commissioners think about the idea of potentially foregoing their conference championship games just for playing games to go to the playoff. So in essence, it kind of is, but we've seen teams lose conference championship games and still make it. This is definitely something that would be a twist to the current construction of postseason college football, but I don't know if I want it. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't really like the idea of expanding it too much. I mean, 16 to me is about as high as I would want to see it go. But I mean, last year it was cool seeing more football, but there's always going to be teams that didn't deserve it or shouldn't have been in. And to me, that just diminishes the playoffs. I mean, you want to see the best of the best in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And the more teams you add to that, the less likely you're going to see really good games. And there can be blowouts in a 4-game or a 8-game playoff, but it's when you narrow it down to a select few of teams, it has a feel of, okay, these are the best teams.
Yeah, you don't want to diminish the currently best regular season in all of sports, which is college football, but each each thing that they do, going to a 14 playoff, going to a 12, like it just 8 and 12, like it just pushes it down, and it makes it lesser than what it is. The product, at least in the regular season, because you feel like, well, we can lose this game, we can lose one of these other games, but we're still going to the college football playoff. Now, in years past, you felt like that there's been more teams that could win a national championship that weren't invited to the party. So you go back and forth. There's pros and cons like there is in anything else in life, and then it's just a matter of...
Well, that's when the bowl games actually mattered.
Yes.
I mean, now the bowl games don't matter, so obviously you want to have a seat at the table in the playoff.
Yes, you do. All right, that's going to do it for your SEC update. Let's chat with Ryan in Hot Springs. He's got some thoughts on football this morning via the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Ryan, go ahead, man. All right, Ryan, I guess he did have some thoughts. And they have escaped him. He's gone. All right. How many of you have gone, and I haven't talked to Tommy about his hotel accommodations in Chicago, but over the years, you've been with your family, you've been with friends, you've been on various business trips or whatever, and I'm one of those guys that if I'm going to something by myself or it's just guys, then stay in the cheapest accommodations possible. But some of you have paid an arm and a leg to stay somewhere really nice with your girlfriend, wife, whatever, family, because you want it to be special. You want it to be memorable. Well, every once in a while, you pay something out of the norm of what you would usually pay from a price point, and it doesn't live up to your expectations like this man in California.
Going down a hallway here, which is not air conditioned, it's probably one of the worst rooms I've ever seen at this price point. So you come in the room, check out the size of this room. I mean, it is tiny. I don't know if you can see, but there's basically a view of a couple of roofs here. Terrible, mediocre, and we're going to switch rooms because, I expect a little more for $800 a night plus fees.
Ooh, man, I think the most that we've ever paid for a work trip was like $400 a night, and usually, again, we split this up as best we can with various, like when I go like road trips, for example, try and split it up with some friends so it's not as costly, or when you go on the road on vacation or whatever. What's the most you paid? You just came back from a lavish vacation. What did you pay per night?
It was like $1,000 per night.
It was $1,000 per night.
Yeah.
Wow. Did it live up to your expectations, unlike this gentleman that was in California?
Yeah, but to me, obviously we were paying for the room, but it was more about the experience and what other things they had to do there. The room was fine. The AC worked. To me, that's if the AC doesn't work, that can kill the whole trip. But there's nothing worse than overpaying or paying a lot for a room or whatever it is and just being underwhelmed. Like,
is that the most? And you can send your thoughts on this at 877-377-6963 via the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Is that the most you've ever paid per night for a lodging of some sort?
Mm-hmm.
But it sounds like it was worth it. It sounds like that you were happy. Now, did that come with food? All inclusive. Yeah, it was all inclusive. Okay.
Yeah.
So your bill, how many nights did you stay?
4.
Okay. So at minimum, you spent $4,000.
Yeah.
But between the flights and everything else you had to pay for, it was probably getting closer to the not the quadruple.
It was over $4,000.
Yeah, that's
we flew cheap. So,
okay. I remember you telling us about that.
Yeah, I mean, we got to our destination. It wasn't as bad as I like to, but in the moment, you're just like, you don't want to wait for anything.
See, here's my stance on when it comes to hotel rooms when I'm traveling in various spots. Like, do I want to stay in the half-star, I could be murdered in my sleep hotel? No. But my stance on it is you're going to be in that room just for sleep, right?
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily think you want to go over the top. Like, if I'm going to pay for a little more for something, it would be the flight, it would be the food, it would be the experiences. But I've always held the belief that's the place that you're going to be just for when you're sleeping, if you do it right. Like, you don't want to be hanging out in the room. I know some kids, when they get on vacation, all they want to do is watch TV, or they want to play video games or something in the room. But you almost want to incentivize if you're a dad or a mom or grandpa or grandma. It's like, okay, the room's not that great. Let's go out and do stuff.
I will say the room was nice. It had a jacuzzi. It had like a nice glass shower, a nice view off the balcony. But yeah, I mean, it's and the service was great. They provided a good, the room service. They would do things because it was our anniversary trip. They would leave us little mementos, things like that. Make the bed every day. Do
you make your bed every day? Do you put
no.
the thing out that says "Come do the bed every day"?
No, but they were good at doing it. They came in at a certain time every day, and no, I do not make my bed every day.
Well, I'm saying, do you let the staff do it every day?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I know sometimes it depends on what is on the other bed. If I got a bunch of work stuff on, I'll leave the pass that says "Do not disturb" outside. Other times I'll do it just depending on the hotel accommodations and everything else. But I guess if you're paying for it, it comes with the room. You might as well take advantage of it. Speaking of good accommodations, Gaston's White River Resort, 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. You can go to Gastons.com. Awesome accommodations. You can be with your family. You can be with your friends. You can be hanging out in the lodges and cabins, private accommodations. I know a lot of people like that, where you're off from other people. There's some distance between you and other people. Oftentimes when you go on these type of trips, you want to be with your crew and not anyone else's. Well, whether it's the restaurant delivering to your cabin, like Big C was talking about with his room service that he was getting, food's awesome. Talking to someone last week, never had anything bad at Gaston's. Food is fantastic. You can also make your own stuff. Fishing's unbelievable. Their guides are tremendous at what they do. The White River is known throughout the United States as the best trout fishing river in the country. So when you're fishing, when you're thinking about going on a trip, Gaston's is the place to be. Again, Gastons.com. Go to their Facebook. You see a bunch of videos. You see a bunch of pictures. It's an awesome, awesome experience. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
It's the summer event takeover at Lewis Automotive with sizzling deals and endless adventures. Lewis Automotive, serving Northwest Arkansas for...
Bobby Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and it's just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge, and when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
We've got big news from Roback. This entire week, Roback is launching its brand new collegiate collection, just in time for the fall season. And if you're an Arkansas fan, you're in luck. The Arkansas collection officially dropped, and there's plenty of inventory available. So whether you're headed to the stadium watching from home or just looking to upgrade your game day gear, now's the time to check out Roback's new Arkansas collegiate collection. Use the code RUSH26 for 20% off your first order. Roback, where action meets comfort.
David Bowie got more fame with his #1 hit titled Fame. John Lennon co-wrote and sounded some of the high notes. The last line in the first verse sums it up. Fame puts you there where things are hollow. John 12:43 tells us that many people rejected Jesus because they loved the fame of people more than the praise of God. Is it any wonder you get more fame by rejecting the name of Jesus? I'm Pastor E from Woodland. Think about it.
So I had pain in my feet for a good 20 years.
It felt like I was standing on marbles.
Something wasn't working with my feet. Was diagnosed with plantar fasciitis.
If your feet aren't comfortable, the rest of the body suffers.
So I went into the Good Feet store and bam. They wanted to make sure that they gave me the right arch support.
You put in the arch supports. To me, it was almost miraculous.
It really brought me back to being able to be me.
I can run, I can walk. This is not something that you could solve online.
Reclaim the good life with the free arch support fitting at the Good Feet store. Good feet, good life.
Taco Bell's new $3 melty pepper jack steak burrito. Luxuriate in premium grilled steak and new pepper jack sauce in the melty steak burrito. All that for only $3. That kind of looks might go to your head.
Can I have a steak knife?
You may not.
Until you chew it.
The $3 melty pepper jack steak burrito. Now joining the Lutz value menu with 10 items, each just $3 or less. Only at Taco Bell.
Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. ColorWorks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook where you can check out their work.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
It's the summer event takeover at Lewis Automotive with sizzling deals and endless adventures. Lewis Automotive, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 80 years and home of the Lewis Guarantee.
I would say Sutton Smith, if we were to play today, Sutton would be our guy to start out there. Tay Lockett's doing a really good job. He's very natural at catching them. And I said this, I think the last time I got asked this question, you know, I wanted to see his ball security improve because after he catches it, we were a little worried about that in the spring. He's been very intentional about that over the summer and now into fall camp. So I think he's putting himself into the mix just because he is putting a little bit more pride in the ball security.
That is Arkansas Special Teams Coordinator Chad Lunsford's talking about Sutton Smith and his impact, not just in the running back room, but obviously his position group, which is special teams. Punt returner, kickoff return. Y'all are also talking about Tay Lockett, who apparently is pretty good with the ball in his hands. Jackson Fuller joined us earlier in this hour, said he's pretty natural when it comes to catching the football, which I know that, listen, that's the first and foremost thing you want. You want a guy that's going to be reliable. I know we've had mishaps and issues with that in the past, and hopefully that's not one of the things that Arkansas has to deal with from a negative standpoint this year. Hey, the Hit That Line Now app is powered by Taco Bell. Whether you're craving something cheesy, saucy, or crunchy, get it at Taco Bell. They've got you covered. They've always got new things going on, like the $3 or less meal at Taco Bell. All of our content, press conferences, podcasts, whatever you want, live shows, Chuck and Bo, Morning Rush, Halftime, Ruskin and Zach, is all on the Hit That Line Now app, powered by Taco Bell. All right, we're going to give this guy some grace. Brian and Ozark here in the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Brian, are you prepared for today?
Yep, I'm prepared.
All right, let's go.
You know, all I wanted to say is, a while ago when you said the possibility of Arkansas being 3-3, whatever you're reading, I don't know, but I think probably need to change the strain of what you're smoking, because there ain't no way in hell Arkansas will be 3-3.
Well, now, Brian, you're the same person that told me last year that Texas was going to the college football playoff and winning the national championship. What did they finish at? What was their record?
Well, they finished 10-3, but you know,
that's not the same what you said. I mean, people make comparisons, questions, and stuff all the time. It doesn't always come to fruition.
Okay, I'll tell you this: for Arkansas to beat a good top-ranked team, will take that top-ranked team to have a very shitty game.
All right, all right, Brian. You're done. Game. You're done. Again, FCC violations. Come on, buddy. It's not that hard. Jeez Louise. Man, oh, man. All right, so even when the Razorbacks, think about last year, 2-10 football team, 5 one-score games, you still had chances to win those football games last fall. That's what's crazy. As bad as they were last season, you still had multiple, ample opportunities. Christian, you brought up the LSU game in Baton Rouge where they choked that game away a little bit earlier in the program. I mean, this team, despite struggling at times under Sam Pittman, would blow games and let them go away. We're still in very much, especially these road games. We're still in these games.
I don't know what Brian's spoken, but to go 3-3, okay, so, I mean, their first 6 games are tough, but you could theoretically win 3 of those games, and it's not like Utah is going to be worlds better than you. You can win that game, and then, in conference, anything can happen, obviously. What is Tennessee one of those games?
Tennessee is the one of the marquee home games.
Anytime Tennessee comes to Fayetteville, I always think there's a chance.
It's 4-5 or 5-6. I forget which one it is.
Yeah, we've got
Vols.
their number. I mean, I'm not saying Tennessee. Tennessee usually has a good season, but for whatever reason they play us, it's like they
struggle.
They're a totally different team.
Yeah, they struggle. And again, I've said many times, I don't necessarily think they're going to be 3-3 at that point. They'll probably be 2-4, but that is how you change the thought process and the dynamics within a fan base. And I know Ryan Silverfield, while he does care about you as a fan, he cares more about that team. He cares more about that mindset of what they can do. Now, Christian made a good point earlier. It's like, can you have a 2-game win streak this fall? The most likely of opportunities come at the start of the season, North Alabama and Utah, and then also the stretch, the combination of Vanderbilt, Missouri, Auburn, and South Carolina. One of those stretches in that 2 games, one on the road, one at home, one on the road, one at home, is how it sets up in that schedule and that point. Scott Westbrook says, why do we keep letting Brian on? Because, Scott, we keep hoping he'll say something that actually has substance.
The question is why does he keep calling?
That's another good question. I've given him the My Buddy show in Austin before. I think he's just a troll. He just likes doing that. That's fine. Whatever. To each his own, I guess. To each his own. All right, that's been a good show today. Big C and me. Tommy back after his Chicago trip tomorrow. Excited to keep the week going strong. Halftime's going to be coming up shortly. Alyssa Orange, Matt Jones, and Colton Little have plenty prepared for you on this day. The quote of the day, I say the quote of the day, the quote of the weekend has to come from Adam Vinatieri.
Pat McAfee's here in the crowd today. Great to see you, brother. The only person who enjoyed holding my balls more than my wife. He held for me in the offseason when everyone else was gone. Get that right.
Jeez. Props to Adam Vinatieri's wife for having a good sense of humor and laughing when he said that. Larry Fitzgerald, Drew Brees, Luke Kuechly, Roger Craig, and Vinatieri all going in to the Pro Football Hall of Fame this weekend. All right, Big C. Can Springfield or Cooperstown? Where do you want to be inducted?
Oh.
Assuming you were athletic.
Yeah. I'd have to say Cooperstown.
I would say Springfield. Basketball guy through and through. I know you're a baseball guy, so no football. No football from either of us with Ken. Bud Light Morning Rush podcast coming out. We mentioned speaking with Jackson Fuller earlier in the show, Times Record. USA Today. Jackson does a great job. He's a buddy of mine. His conversation will be in the podcast as well. So for Christian Johnson, I'm Ty Richardson. Enjoy the rest of your day featuring Halftime and Ruskin and Zach. We're back tomorrow with Tommy at 9 a.m.
Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479